Hello, hello, hello. What's up, y'all? Benjamin here. Let's do a really quick video on co-parenting. I'll do a longer one at some other point. Why I think it's a bad idea. I mean, if you have to do it, co-parenting is the best thing. But how about just staying in your relationship and raising your kids together? Most children are raised by single parents now, particularly the mother. And it's highly probable, highly likely that you will have to co-parent in some way, shape, or form. Now, again, 80 to 90% of divorces are filed by the wife. That's not a sexist statement. That's just what it is. And so, if you know you're going to go into the divorce, just hear me now, and you're likely to be revengeful and you want to weaponize your kids, just be aware of that. I tell people, if the dad was a good dad before the divorce, he'll be a good dad after. He didn't have to be super dad, but if he's a decent father and he's trying, he'll be a decent father and try after the divorce as well. So just give him the room to do that and try to co-parent with peace. Now, if you're still listening to any of these and you used to know me before, back when I was younger, you're probably thinking this.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
One more time.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
You're probably thinking, who the hell is this guy talking all this stuff about divorce and yada yada. Well, anyway, I've been through divorce court mafia, so I get it. And I understand the father's plight, not for no reason that a lot of dads talk about not getting a fair shake in divorce. They don't get to see their kids as much. I just talked to a guy the other day. He's given up. He's given up. He's no longer willing. He can't put in the money. He doesn't have any more, and the time and the effort. He just let his son go because he can't. He can't keep fighting. He's not going to deal with the BS. Just let his kids go, and in the hopes that when the kid's older and wants to get to know him, he can do that. His son can do that. It happens a lot, more and more than you would think. This is what I think co-parenting should be like. This is what I think co-parenting should be like. The short of it is this. I was talking to a young man the other day, and he was he was lacking a father figure, and why can't, his dad is such a hard ass on him, but why can't he, no positive male role model. I mean, this is norm now for men. Most men are raised by women, and they're also taught to think like women. That's not a sexist statement. That's an observation. Talk to most men, and they'll tell you a story. It's amazing. Just listen to their stories. It's unbelievable how most men were not raised by men. But he was asking me questions about God, which is interesting because he doesn't know me at all. And then why, how come I don't have a dad? How come, blah, yada, yada, so on and so forth. And I said, look, God is probably like something like this. If God is a good dad, a good father, like the Bible tells you, and people tell you for that matter, he's probably something. This is how the Bible describes God. It's like a big feast and everybody's invited, right? Everybody can come sit at God's table. And he's asking me these questions. I said, I don't know, man, but here's what I do know. I love my son, and my son is always welcome at my table. My son is always welcome at my table, and he will always be welcome at my table. But it goes deeper than that, I think. My son is always welcome at my table. He will always be welcome at my table. And here's where it gets better. Everybody my son loves is welcome at my table. Everybody my son loves is welcome at my table. And as he gets older, that will only continue to be the case. He'll have friends and make more friends, and they'll want to come over and hang out and these type of things. My son's friends are welcome at my table. Everybody that my son loves is welcome at my table. That includes my ex, that includes her family, and that will include down the road when he falls in love, whoever that lucky lady will be, that person will be welcome at my table as well, right? Now, this is a stance to take on co-parenting, in my opinion. And I know, look, I'm not big. If the manosphere was here listening to me now, if the red pill community was listening to me now, they'd say something like, "Oh, you're just being a simp. You're being a simp for your ex. You are, you're playing into the hands of whatever, the divorce court mafia type stuff." It's like, no. I don't agree with any of that. In fact, I think most people should stay married and work it out and stay together for their children. I think that should be a thing. But that's just me. Doesn't it make sense, though, that even though the marriage didn't work out, the relationship didn't happen how you thought it would, or it should have went, and you don't get to rear your child or your children how they should have been, the next best thing is a good co-parenting relationship. The next best thing is a good co-parenting relationship. It's still a cop-out, and it's still bullshit, but it's the next best thing. Wouldn't it make sense to co-parent in peace? And having that stance, it's my opinion, that my son or your children are always welcome at your table. They should always be welcome at your table, but everybody that they love should be welcome at your table. Doesn't that make sense? Wouldn't that be the better way? So that for your children, you can coexist in some peaceful manner that is productive to raise your kids well. Does that make sense? A good father, doesn't have to be a great father, but a good father, his kids are always welcome at his table, and everybody that they love will always be welcome at their dad's table. And even more than that, I think that's probably what God is like. God loves his children. His children are welcome at his table, and everybody that they love are invited to the table as well. Anyway, that's a short, quick glance at a cohesive co-parenting relationship where the two parties, the mother and father, and know this about yourself. If you're getting ready to file, if you're going into that divorce season, so many people are. I'm done with all this nonsense. Oh, it's not going on. It's, sweep it under the rug. These things aren't happening. There's not happening in the church. Whatever. I see through that now. That's over, right? Divorce is a first world country problem. It's rampant. The biggest part of that is if you have children, co-parenting. It's the lesser of two evils, co-parenting. Again, I still think it's a cop-out and a wash. But if you have to do it for the sake of your children, the other person should still be invited to sit at your table, as it were. You get what I'm saying about that. Maybe they can't come and eat with you physically, sure. But having that attitude and that mentality that you don't want bad for this person either. And you don't want to weaponize your children against them either. You want to have a cohesive, as best you can, co-parenting relationship for the sake of your children or your child, right? Everybody's invited to the table. That should include your kids' parents, right? That's my thought for the day.